After being criticized for not going all in to the electric game the way it had hybrids and ever far-fetched hydrogen, Toyota dropped a big old surprise on the world and unveiled a comprehensive EV strategy. The news was laid out by none other than Toyota president Akio Toyoda himself. And the plans don't leave out the Lexus luxury brand. If anything, Lexus represents the bolder step for Toyota, as Mr. Toyoda said the luxury brand will be all electric by 2035 globally, and that turnaround will come 5 years earlier to North America, China, and Europe. Keep in mind, Lexus only recently revealed the new RZ 450e, the first dedicated battery electric crossover that will be launched this year. So, how will Lexus go from an army of one to fully electric? Hang tight, we'll go over the entire electric lineup Lexus is planning to launch and Lexus's master plan to catch up with the competition. Before we move on, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Now, let's go over Toyota and Lexus EV strategy and what the carmaker is planning to launch in the coming years. Besides the compact-ish RZ, there's a bigger SUV in the works, dubbed Lexus Electrified SUV, a sports car coupe under the name Electrified Sport that seems to have a convertible variant and a compact sedan, which may spawn a couple of hatchbacks and wagon variants. But first, let's take a look at Lexus's first all-electric offering, the RZ 450e, which is scheduled for release in the US late November of 2022, which shares the eTNGA platform with the Toyota BZ4X and the Subaru Solterra. This being a Lexus, it's sporting a much posher cabin to go along with its more upscale exterior styling. Although it shares its 65.6 kWh battery pack with the BZ4X, the Lexus's powertrain is a more powerful dual-motor setup that's good for 308 horsepower. According to Lexus, this powertrain should deliver around 225 miles of driving range per charge. The RZ will also have two new technologies, Direct 4 and Steer-by-Wire. Direct 4 is a torque vectoring all-wheel drive system that will be able to send torque to each wheel independently depending on the driving conditions, while Steer-by-Wire will consider how far the wheel is turned and how quickly for a better assessment of the driver's intentions. Lexus has confirmed that a yoke-style steering wheel will be offered as an option. A regular circular wheel will be standard. So, if you're not ready for a yoke, you'll be able to opt out. The RZ's exterior is sharply styled with a floating roof, a ducktail spoiler, and aggressive headlamps. The cabin takes a more minimalistic approach in its design, with most controls being operated through a large 14-inch touchscreen infotainment display. Although the RZ isn't the same as the RX, it looks like it's perhaps slightly bigger than the BZ4X, Toyota's first dedicated battery electric crossover launched this year. Lexus hasn't released pricing yet, but our guess is it will have a starting price of $55,000. A 6.6 kilowatt onboard charger is weaker than many rivals, and the RZ's DC fast charging capabilities are limited to 150 kilowatt connections. But Toyota's luxury arm has bigger plans for its electric future and has disclosed that it already has finished work on an 800-volt electrical architecture. Speaking with Green Car Reports, Lexus chief engineer Takashi Watanabe admitted that the high-voltage architecture has been finalized, but said that not all Lexus and Toyota EVs will get it. According to Watanabe, the reason for that is the relationship between the battery capacity and charging. He said that larger battery packs warrant the faster electrical architecture and charge rates. However, higher charge power above 150 kilowatts is expensive for both car makers and the charging infrastructure. For example, in the US, the predominant charge rate for fast charging is 150 kilowatts at the moment, even though 350 kilowatt fast charging stations are starting to emerge. But Lexus is not selling cars only in the United States, so it will have to consider globalized charging rates for its vehicles. Over-the-air or OTA updates. Lexus chief engineer also revealed Lexus's plan on over-the-air updates, saying that, "Right now, we're not trying to put any limitations or restrictions on what's possible through OTA." More specifically, he said that electric motor control, charging, supporting systems, or new value services can be enhanced using OTA technology. The key to making that happen is an updated ECU system and communication system that Lexus is currently working to put together. Electrified Sport Supercar. Taking a page from the development of the LFA, the Electrified Sport will be the new halo car for Lexus. minus the LFA's screaming V10 engine. Its bold proportions, low ride height, and promised performance should make it a wild car to drive. Lexus says it will accelerate from 0 to 62 miles per hour in the low 2-second range, while having the battery capacity to drive over 430 miles on a single charge. The electrified Sport, revealed by Lexus's chief brand officer Koji Sato, will have a peculiar and aggressive design as shown by the concept. Sato was the chief engineer of the Lexus LC, so we expect the electric sports car to marry the LFA's thrilling driving dynamics with the LC 500's curves. Lexus might follow the same route for the electrified Sport as it did with the LC 500, which is offered as a coupe and a convertible. Lexus Electrified SUV. Although no info was given on this SUV, the concept shown at the press conference appears to be larger than the RZ. It also looks like a two-row crossover. The SUV's name hasn't been confirmed, but expect it to have the Z at the end. Brian Bolane, global head of marketing for Lexus, told in a recent interview the Z, which stands for zero, will be at the end of every electric model's name, with the first letter being closely related to a vehicle in today's lineup. The larger electrified SUV could become the GZ in lieu of today's GX 4x4. Compact sedan and wagon. At the recent press conference, Lexus signaled it will start to diversify its lineup across the globe. According to Mr.Toyoda, this freedom will allow us to be more attuned to our customers, such as by meeting the various needs of different regions. The compact sedan and stylish wagons could be slated for Europe, where there's more appetite for those cars. While in America sedans are still popular, the sedan shown by Lexus looks more like a smaller city car, designed to be driven around tight streets, something common in Europe. And while we're fans of wagons and hatchbacks, those are hardly seen in the States, particularly on the luxury front, except for Porsche's Taycan Sport Turismo GTS. Diversifying its lineup around the world will help Lexus sell more cars in different regions, especially in Europe where German competition is tough and smaller cars are more popular. We expect to see some of these models in production form over the next 3 years as Lexus enters its new chapter under electrification. Toyota is ramping up its electric vehicle production schedule, vowing to release 30 electric vehicles by 2030. The Japanese automaker also vowed to sell 3.5 million battery EVs globally by 2030. As per Toyota, it would invest $17.6 billion in battery vehicle technology, an increase over its previous commitment of $13.6 billion. And $1.29 billion will go to Toyota's battery factory in North Carolina. The facility to be capable of producing enough lithium-ion batteries for 200,000 vehicles when production begins in 2025. The company said it plans to eventually expand battery production up to 1.2 million vehicles per year. This will for sure help to achieve the carmaker's electrification goals. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you soon with another informative video.
Hopefully this is what convinces people finally that electric cars are the future.